Hey, Uncle Bob here with Fly Fishing Mythbusters, and you are about to witness a flarping first. I'm going to tie the first flare rig. Now, I've tied one of my basic hair rigs here, and I'm going to dress it up with Marabou and make it like a streamer, but it's still going to be able to hold, a piece of corn or whatever it is I want to put on the end here. And so it will have both features of a fly and a hair rig. It will have the Marabou, right, that makes it buggy when you strip it. And it'll have the hair rig with the piece of corn on it, right, that will make it attractive to the fish, to the carp, just sitting there. Now, the knot I've used, and I made a short, right, it's just, the hair rig is really simple with this, right? I made that short. I've made this. I got a tag end sitting here. You know what? The Euro carpers, right, use what's called a knotless knot. And that means that they're wrapping twists after going up through the eye. They're wrapping twists and then they come back through the eye. Well, that's fine as long as you protect both those ends from coming undone. But when you use a nail knot tool, you don't have to, because that nail knot, right, is right to the shank. So I'm going to go ahead and trim off. You can see that thing moves around. That's okay. The hair never really gets any pressure. I'm going to trim that off, right? I could melt this dacron down to a bud, but I'm not going to do that. And so now all I have to do, right, is tie this in with my fly tying stuff. And I will end up putting a loop knot, the triple nurse's loop in this, and this will swing freely, which it needs to do as a streamer. And I can't see that it hurts as a hair rig, because all the fancy hair rigs you see coming out of the guys in England and Europe, right, are all designed to let the hair and the hook float around in the carp's mouth. That's how you're going to get a set on lips. If it's too stiff, it's just going to come out the way it went in. Anyway, so this is just, 3/0, 6/0 thread. I don't remember anymore. And I'm just going to go ahead and come down to where that loop is. Yeah, I like it that way. Okay. Now, piece of Marabou. I'll pick out a nice piece. And Marabou, is used in fly fishing a lot for making streamers and all sorts of other things. It is just buggy. It is going to soak up that flarp juice really well. And purple's an interesting color in fly fishing. It doesn't occur very much in nature. That's about right. But it seems to be almost like a universally attractive color, at least to trout. All right, let's get that tag end out of there. Come on. There we go. Sorry. Have to get rid of that. Now I'm going to put a little super glue on this. And a typical way to cut this is right up at an angle, and it gives it a little head. And then I just come back and find the eye, put a few reps around that, and whip finish. Now, my whip finish is not the prettiest one in the world, but it's the most precise. And when I'm tying tiny flies, I like to be able to just lay that thing right where I want it. I'll put about 5 wraps in here. Like I said, I'll put some super glue on this, right? But because I nail knotted it, right, I can cut that nail knot trim. It's not a no knot knot. Let's see if I can show this off. Okay, let me pull the loop out a little bit. You see that? That is the first flare. Fly plus hair rig. It's a flare rig. I'm going to goop this thing up, and this is going to be a killer, I guarantee you. I'll tell you how it works out, but I'm liking it. Bye-bye.